everyone, and welcome back to STEM Simplified. This is episode 3 of JavaScript Basics, the series where we break down JavaScript one simple step at a time. This is episode 3, and today we're learning all about expressions and operators, also known as how your code starts doing actual logic and math. So let's do a quick review. So far, you've learned how to make variables using let and constant, how to name them properly, and how to change their values. Now, let's start using those variables to do things like math, comparisons, and logic. First up, what is an expression? An expression is just something that gives you a value. It could be a number like 5, a variable like score, or just something like age plus 3. JavaScript sees that and gives you a result. These are your basic math operators. These work just as they do in normal math, but the percent symbol gives you the remainder after division. Like when you divide 10 by 3, the remainder is 1. More on that later. These are comparison operators. They don't give you numbers. They give back true or false statements. You'll use these to check conditions, like if someone is old enough or if a score is high enough. These let you combine logic with math and checks if both things are true, or checks if at least one thing is true, and not flips true to false. You'll need these for decision making in code. Now, let's focus on the percent operator. It tells you what's left after dividing. So 10 divided by 3 equals 1, because 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over. This is really handy when you need to find remainders or check if a number is even or odd. In the context of programming, the percent sign is also called a modulo operator. As you can see on the example on the right, 3 goes into 10 3 times, and you get 9. When you subtract 9 from 10, you get 1, so the remainder is 1. Now, let's focus on the not. When you apply not to something that's true, it changes it to false. When you apply it to something false, it changes it to true. It helps your code understand the opposite of a situation. Instead of checking if something is true, you can check if it's not true, which is super useful for making decisions or controlling how your program runs. Basically, not lets you easily say the opposite of this in your code. Now that we know how this works, let's see it in action. So first, we're going to have two variables, age and hasTicket. We're going to define them using let, and we're going to say let age equal a number. We're going to set it equal to 16 for this example. Then we're also going to create another variable called hasTicket. You can see the camel case here working. Now we're going to set that equal to true. Because hasTicket can either be true or false, it doesn't make sense if you were to use a number or a string for this section. Now, we're going to try to check if someone is 13 or older and has a ticket. The way we do that is going to do console.log, and we're going to go in and check if someone is 13 or older and has a ticket. The way we check if somebody is 13 or older, we're going to say is age greater than or equal to 13. That will print out true in the console. Now, however, we want to also see if they have a ticket on top of the correct age. To do that, we're going to put in two ands, and we're going to finish with hasTicket. This prints out true because 16 is greater than 13, and the value of hasTicket is true. Since true and true are there, it's equivalent to true. Now, we're going to check if they're under 10 or have a ticket. We're going to do console.log, age less than 10, or, which is 2 vertical lines, and hasTicket. This also results in true, because even though 16 is not less than 10, that is false, and the other side is true. Since this is an or, we only need one of the sides to be true for the whole equation to be equivalent to true. Finally, we're going to try using not. We're going to try to flip a condition. So we're going to do console.log, and the way we use not is put it outside another parentheses. So we're going to check if age is greater than 18. You might be wondering why this shows up as true. Well, that's where the not comes in. The way not works, it goes from inside out. The inside parentheses is checking if 16 is greater than 18, which is false, so it prints out false. However, the not is still there. So not false, not flips the value. So since not false, it will be equal to true. So then the console.log prints out true. See how these expressions return true or false and not numbers? This is because we were using logic and comparison operators and not math operators. Now that we've seen how it works, let's go back. Let's do a quick overview of what we learned today. Expressions give you values. Math and comparison operators do calculations and checks. And logical operators help combine those checks using and, or not. Remember, percentages is for remainders and not is to flip true or false. Thank you so much for watching STEM Simplified. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you want to learn next. Up next, we'll dive into if statements, how your code makes real decisions. See you in episode 4.